Okay, KC2IRV here again, going for another drive. I've got the repeater up at my house, doing about 15 watts, 5 dB gain, omnidirectional antenna. I got my phone propped in the windshield here. I'm gonna get some better camera equipment eventually, but we're gonna listen to it a little bit. So I'm going to put in a 1K tone, and we heard a little bit of it the other day when I had it on 1 watt on a crappy antenna in my house. So let's try this now. Ooh. I'm at a red light. Oh, there goes my phone. Be able to hear the little phase differences. And they're not as badly out of phase as they were right by my house because it's more centered. It's about 8 air miles from my house to the main site on the mountaintop. Here it's not too bad. You can kind of hear it flip between one site and the other a little bit. And so you can hear it a little bit there. So let's try some voice. Let's see if I can raise somebody. And because we are in overlap now, I can hear it. KC2IRV listening. Oh, that obviously didn't work. There we go.
Connected to KS-IRV UHF receiver.
KC2IRV. Anybody around?
I'm here.
Yeah, I may be here, but you know, I'm physically here, but I'm mentally gone most of the time. I'm actually driving around making a YouTube video on the overlap area of the Simulcast system, so I wanted to see if I could get some audio. So we'll see what happens.
So I'm going to be a movie star. I'm going to be on TV again. Hi. You know, I used to be on TV all the time. My Century 21 commercials for my home, because I had a home that I think it was $170,000 a greater. I could run it on local channel 21 out of Killington and run it 3-4 different magazines. And people were like, I know you, and I said, yeah, I know. But never once in my head. So anyways, how is the Simulcast working?
In my opinion, better than expected. I'm in the overlap right now, and if I put out a 1K tone over there, I do a star 989. You can hear the phase, you know, shifting around, but that's actually the worst case scenario if you put it a straight tone. So, but with voice is kind of a more practical test of how it's doing in overlap. So it sounds pretty good. I have to say, I'm pretty impressed with it.
Yeah, I hear a nice little frying pan pop every once in a while, but nothing too horrific. So, you know, if I was listening in the past, and I don't know what one of your two notes you're coming into, whether it's the repeater or the one at your house, You know, it sounds real good. So other than that occasional little pop in there. So anyway, that's awesome. So yeah, now I guess it's just to move it up to the next gap before the smoke flies.
Yep, that would be very, very nice. So, yeah, you're probably hearing it switch between the receivers. I got to tweak that. There's, there's a bunch of settings that you can play with when it comes to how it votes and how long it, sticks on a receiver before it, hands off to another receiver, and how much of a difference there needs to be between the receivers before it actually looks to another receiver to vote to. So you're probably hearing it pop back between the two receivers, because as I was going up the road, I was looking on Almon at the voting display, and it pops between the two receivers fairly often, because they're kind of equal along this one road.
Okay, well, I would have just assumed that was atmospheric noise, something in the signal stuff, but yeah, I mean, it's so minute, unconcerned eye right here, not knowing like me, I would have just assumed it was natural noise, could be a mobile or something. So sounds pretty damn good though. So now, how far away from the receiver, or how far from your house are you? Are you in an area where you normally don't get coverage?
No, I'm in an area where I normally have coverage, and I have coverage from both sites. So I wanted to test it in an area where there's significant overlap. I'm about 2-3 miles away from my house, and in air miles, I'm about 7-8 miles from the main repeater site, and I'm actually going away from both of them now. So we'll see how this works. So yeah, the overlap is the tricky part, getting right, because that's where it's going to sound the worst.
Okay, well, I say it's 99.99% there, so oh, I got a landline. Back to you, Joe.
Okay, no problem. I'll let you go. I'm going to disconnect here and play a little bit more. So I'll talk to you a little bit, KC2IRB. Okay. That was a real QSO through the overlap there. So that's pretty much the best practical test, best practical test. So, and now I've disconnected from the Vermont system. I'll give it another 1K tone here. Yeah, you can hear it overlapping. So, anyway, that's about as much as you can ask for. It sounds. It's extremely copyable. It sounds rather decent. It sounds very, very good, in my opinion. For simulcast overlap, that sounds very good. So aside from that, I'll do some more testing once I get this on an actual mountaintop. But so far, the last two tests have been very, very favorable. And once again, it seems to further prove out my theory with the way I clocked the RTCMs. So there's really no need for that elusive programmable clock generation module, which I don't think is being produced anymore by Micronode. So that's the short story of it. If you can get a hold of some 9.6 megahertz OCXOs, I would like, and I may do this as a test. Get a hold of some 9.6 megahertz TCXOs, or temperature compensated crystal oscillators, and see how they perform, and see if they are stable enough. You know, if they'll do the job, because those are far cheaper and easier to implement. In fact, you would most likely be able to fit one of those directly inside the RTCM itself instead of having something external. So I'm gonna build a box with one of those in it and connect it up just like I am right now, with the separate boxes for the OCXOs. So that's the plan, because those are far easier to get your hands on, and cheaper too. You know, because right now, I mean, the supply I have where I purchased the 9.6 megahertz OCXOs is finite. I mean, they're not going to be there forever. It's just a fluke that I happen to come across an eBay seller that has a whole bunch of them, and I've been, as time and money allow, I've been purchasing them just to have spares, in case I ever have one that fails. I mean, they are used themselves, so I looked into purchasing the 9.6 megahertz OCXO, and I asked several different manufacturers, one of them being the Silicords and a few others, and they all range in like the $150 to $180 range each. They're expensive. So, but besides that, what I have now, it's good to go, and I'm going to run with it for now. Like I said, I'm going to test out the TCXOs, and I'll report back and see how they work, because that'll be a far cheaper and easier to implement option, and because they're just more available. You can get those brand new for about $15-20 a piece. So aside from that, I'm going to turn around and head for home. Once again, if you ever have questions, comments, let me know. But that's it for now. 73s.